Have you ever wondered how a global giant like Nike got its start? It wasn't with a flashy ad campaign or a massive corporate headquarters. It all began with a guy selling sneakers out of the trunk of his car. That guy was Phil Knight, and this is the story of how a simple idea, a waffle iron, and a handshake transformed the world of sports forever. Back in the early 1960s, Phil Knight was a recent business school graduate and a decent middle-distance runner from Oregon. He had this crazy idea, as he called it. He believed that high-quality, low-cost athletic shoes from Japan could compete with the German brands that dominated the American market at the time. So he took a trip to Japan and managed to secure the US distribution rights for a company called Onitsuka Tiger, which you might know today as ASICS. He came back to the States with a shipment of Tiger shoes, but he didn't have a store or even an office. His first warehouse was his parents' basement, and his first storefront was the back of his Plymouth Valiant. He'd drive to track meets all over the Pacific Northwest, open his trunk, and sell shoes to athletes, coaches, and fans. It was pure hustle. But Knight wasn't alone. He teamed up with his former track coach, the legendary Bill Bowerman. Bowerman was obsessed with making shoes lighter and faster. He was a relentless innovator, constantly tinkering and experimenting. He'd tear apart shoes, trying to improve them for his runners at the University of Oregon. Knight was the business mind, and Bowerman was the genius inventor. Together they founded Blue Ribbon Sports in 1964, with a handshake and just $500 each. The business grew steadily, one pair of shoes at a time. They were selling Tiger shoes, but Bowerman was never fully satisfied. He was always sketching new designs, convinced he could do better. This is where one of the most famous stories in business history comes in. One morning, while looking at his wife's waffle iron, Bowerman had a light bulb moment. What if the gridded pattern of the waffle iron could be used for the sole of a running shoe? It could provide incredible grip without the weight of traditional spikes. He poured melted urethane into the waffle iron, ruining it in the process, but creating the prototype for the revolutionary waffle sole. This innovation would change everything. It provided traction and cushioning that runners had never experienced before. The Waffle Trainer, released a few years later, became a massive success and put their company on the map. By the early 1970s, the relationship with Onitsuka Tiger was getting strained. Knight and Bowerman knew it was time to create their own brand. They needed a name and a logo. Their first employee, Jeff Johnson, came up with the name Nike in a dream, named after the Greek goddess of victory. It was short, memorable, and powerful. For the logo, they turned to a graphic design student at Portland State University named Carolyn Davidson. They wanted something that conveyed motion and speed. For the grand total of $35, she created one of the most recognizable symbols on the planet, the swoosh. It was simple, elegant, and dynamic. At first, Phil Knight said, "I don't love it, but maybe it will grow on me." It's safe to say it did. In 1971, Blue Ribbon Sports officially became Nike Inc. They launched their own line of shoes featuring the swoosh and the waffle sole. Their strategy was different from their competitors. They didn't just sell shoes, they sold an identity. They focused on elite athletes, believing that if the best in the world wore their products, everyone else would follow. Their first major endorsement was with the rebellious and charismatic runner Steve Prefontaine. Pre was a rock star on the track, and he embodied the defiant, win-at-all-costs spirit that Nike wanted to represent. His success and swagger gave the young brand credibility and an edge. But the moment that truly launched Nike into the stratosphere came in 1984. The company took a massive gamble on a rookie basketball player from North Carolina. Other brands were hesitant, but Nike saw something special. They offered him a signature shoe deal that was unheard of at the time. That player was Michael Jordan. The Air Jordan 1 was released, and it broke all the rules. It was black and red, violating the NBA's uniform policy. The league fined Jordan every time he wore them on court, and Nike happily paid the fines, turning the controversy into one of the greatest marketing campaigns of all time. The shoes became a symbol of rebellion and excellence. Every kid wanted to be like Mike. The partnership with Jordan transformed Nike from a running shoe company into a global cultural phenomenon. It wasn't just about athletic performance anymore. It was about style, aspiration, and attitude. This success paved the way for the iconic "Just Do It" slogan in 1988. The phrase was simple, direct, and empowering. It resonated with everyone, from professional athletes to everyday people looking for a bit of motivation. It captured the very essence of the brand. From there, Nike's dominance grew. They signed athletes who were not just the best, but also had compelling stories and personalities. Bo Jackson, Andre Agassi, Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, LeBron James. They didn't just sponsor athletes, they built narratives around them, turning them into modern-day heroes. The story of Nike is a masterclass in branding, innovation, and taking calculated risks. It's a testament to the power of a simple idea and relentless determination. It started with Phil Knight selling shoes from his car, driven by a passion for running. It grew through Bill Bowerman's obsession with innovation, sparked by a household appliance. And it exploded into a global icon through a partnership with the greatest basketball player of all time. Today, the swoosh is more than just a logo. It's a symbol of victory, perseverance, and the belief that if you have a body, you are an athlete. And it all started with a crazy idea, a waffle iron, and a dream. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.